Donald Trump was given a very stark warning from the editorial page of the Wall Street Journal this past weekend when they reminded him that half of the country still hates you. The Wall Street Journal editorial board pointed out in this editorial that you didn't even get 50% of the popular vote. So the majority of the country, which they only say half, but let's be real, it's actually the majority, they don't like you. So you'd better tread carefully for the next 4 years. Otherwise, they say, you're going to hand the Democratic Party the biggest gift they have ever received. Here's what the Wall Street Journal wrote. First of all, of course, they said half the country still dislikes you. But then they said, Mr. Trump has political running room, though it's not unlimited. His victory was solid, but no landslide. The GOP majority in the House is so narrow that a couple of willful members can kill anything. Mr. Trump could quickly find himself in trouble if he exceeds his mandate from voters. Now, again, you guys just admitted, like, you don't have a mandate, but then you're like, you better not waste his mandate. Learn how to write, editorial board editors. Like, you can't say something doesn't exist and then later on, a sentence and a half later, say that the thing exists. That's not how reality works, let alone writing. I would think the editorial board of the Wall Street Journal would know that, but apparently they do not. They then said that he runs the risk of overreach if his plans also mean midnight raids on busboys or separating mothers from children, in which case the politics could turn fast. They continue, the biggest risk in our view is Mr. Trump's desire to court adversaries in search of diplomatic deals for their own sake. He won't settle the Ukraine war in a day as he promised, but an ugly deal that favors Russia could be his version of President Biden's flight from Afghanistan. Most important will be his courtship of Chinese dictator Xi Jinping. Former Trump security advisor John Bolton writes in his memoir that Mr. Trump said in his first term that a U.S. defense of Taiwan was implausible, and Mr. Xi can read. China could react to Mr. Trump's tariffs with a blockade of Taiwan, or perhaps by taking nearby islands now controlled by Taiwan. How would Mr. Trump respond to avoid the risk of war? Would he cede Taiwan to Mr. Xi? If Mr. Trump focuses on settling scores rather than raising incomes, Democrats will sweep the 2026 midterms and progressives will return to power with a vengeance in 2028. A second presidential chance would be a terrible thing to waste. Y'all are writing that as if you don't know exactly what he has planned to do. There is not a single plan in place that Donald Trump has, which he has admitted, by the way, to raise incomes for average Americans. No, the only thing that his allies and he have said that would help the middle class is cutting taxes for the rich, which everybody that is not wealthy, in fact, even the wealthy people know this, doesn't help the middle class, doesn't help the working class, doesn't help the lowest among us in the income brackets. Doesn't help any of us. So he literally has no plans to bring down prices or raise our incomes, and that's what voters allegedly went to the polls and voted on this past November. So you're saying, like, if he doesn't do this, he's kind of screwed. Okay, so he's kind of screwed then, because we all know damn well he's not going to do any of that. They're already promising the raids on the busboys. It's literally supposed to happen tomorrow. So all of the horrible things you're telling him, please don't do this, he's already planning to do. Possibly this.